Hello and welcome to this video from zonalaudio.com. Today we have an excerpt from a one-to-one tuition session where we have the reference Tower by Nemrak, and we are looking at creating a similar style bass sound using FM synthesis. In this instance we have operator, and we're using numerous LFOs to make the sound evolve over time, making it perfect for hypnotic styles of music. I hope this video is interesting, useful and informative. If it is, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will be putting the Ableton rack of the device that we made today onto our Patreon, so head over there to further support the channel and grab the preset if you like. So yeah, I wanted to look at making a bass line kind of similar to the reference, so the track kind of rolls along quite nicely, but we need something that has some movement in it. I'm going to start with a fairly kind of typical FM bass and then do some things to make it less typical, basically. So you'll have seen before, I'm sure, using operator to make a kind of like donk style FM bass, and we're using that as the principal sound design, but then we want to make it kind of move over time. So using that same MIDI pattern, okay, so that will be like the core of our sound, but just having that repeating over won't really be very interesting. And basically what I want to do is essentially modulate how much of this we're getting, both with the level and the attack and the sustain. So basically, yeah, automating or modulating all those variations, and then we'll have a little play with the third operator as well. So yeah, very basic starting point, the course of A down to 0.5 and then the course of B to 3, and this can be altered depending on the kind of timbre that we're after, but that'll work as it is for now. I'm gonna put on some like basic processing just to keep the sound interesting. Put the EQ at the end and roll off the lows whilst we're here. Okay, so we'll be using several LFOs. I'm going to map the first one to the attack, and then we just need to dial each of these in so that they make sense, basically. So this one, it doesn't need to go as far. I can bring the offset down. And already we're getting that nice variation in the sound. I think I'll make that a little bit lower. In terms of the rate, this one will map to sustain. Similar thing, we'll just make it not go quite as fast and quite as far. Okay, so a little bit of a click at the start of the sound sometimes. So on operator A, I'm just going to increase the attack a tiny bit.
Okay.
So we don't get that click. Okay, so I just wanted to check that with the kick, the attack to go to 0. So on the amount here, I'm just going to bring that up to 5%. And again, that should avoid any clicks. So let's also try the level, and this time we'll do random with a bit of smooth. So obviously that's getting too high at points there. Okay, so we'll bring the depth down and the offset down a bit. If this level ends up going too low, then we'll just get a fairly like plain bass tone. So again, we'll do the minimum to be maybe 30, and then we don't want it going too high because it gets too harsh. So I'll put that to 70. Okay. I'm going to close these down. Bear in mind we've got 3 LFOs there, but we have more assignable slots if we want to do more modulation on other things. But for now, I'm actually going to use another LFO. Let's go for... I forgot that we're not in Live 12. So we'll go... Okay, let's go sine. And like I said, we have this. Let's go this one. Maybe that's too fast. What I want to do is modulate the rate very slightly, so we get some more random variations. So I'm going to put this to not go a great deal, 20 to 51. Let's see what that does. Let's go lower. So I don't want a huge amount of movement, just a slight variation. So yeah, we've got quite an interesting movement there. Assign that to level . Okay, so again, we don't want it going all the way. I think to have it go to 0 is fine, because we get a nice variation in the timbre. Okay, so let's utilize these for the envelope. So we'll do this one on the attack, but again, dialing in smaller variations. This one can be sustain. So these are the essentially opposite of the other envelope. So this one's doing attack of B, and this one's doing the sustain, so this one can do the, oh no, we've already got the attack and that modulated, so that's fine. Fairly happy with how this sound is shaping up, but I think we'll need a bit more to help it cut through the mix. We can basically be a little bit creative here with filters. We've got an interesting sound. I'm going to start by using a bandpass 24 dB, and then we'll assign the LFO, like the internal LFO, to the filter on quite a low rate. So this is kind of experimentation here. What I really want actually is to use the PRD or the MS2 circuit of a filter, and that unfortunately isn't available on the bandpass, but I want to see what it's like in bandpass first.
Like, this is great for me.
Yeah, so that the MS2 filter it's modeled on the MS20 analog synth. So if you're wanting a bit more of a gnarly bass, this works well. So yeah, that took 10-15 minutes to set up. But now that's just going to run through the track and just constantly change, basically. We'll rarely get the exact same sound. Although it'll be familiar enough to keep the overall sound of the track consistent. Let's just play through and see how it sounds. I will just caveat this as well to say we can do more modulation, more processing. Like we've just got an amp and echo on here at the moment. I'm actually going to put it to ping pong and give it some reverb. Oof, that got big. I'm also going to modulate the filter. I do this a lot on echo. I think it's really, really nice effect. Just keeps the movement going. So here's the filter, and then this is the modulation tab, which we can then mod the filter. So yeah, a rate of 3 will be good. So there you have it, some nice hypnotic bass sounds. Again, I hope you found this useful, informative and interesting. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel. Furthermore, you can grab the preset over at our Patreon. Until the next one, happy producing. Bye now.